Thank you, Dr. Sanchez. I now would like to present to you the leadership group of our Faculty Senate for this year and to make a few short remarks. Good, my slide's up there. And I don't have the clicker, so if you would forward my slides, because I asked you to. On the next slide, good. Here's our leadership, our executive committee for this year, and I'm going to read the names of each of these people, and as I read your name, would you please stand and then just remain standing until I have finished everyone. First, as I mentioned previously, I am currently the chair for this year. I'm in the Department of Pathology at the medical school. Jonathan Retzlaff is Associate Professor of Voice in the Blair School, and he is serving as Vice Chair. Cynthia Pascal, Associate Professor of Biomedical Engineering, is Chair-elect. Cynthia, are you all here? Good. I can't see anything from here, so. Is Chair-elect, and Jack Roberts, Professor of Pharmacology, is the Vice Chair-elect. Your officers from last year are Chair Bruce Berry, I know is here, Professor of Management at the Owen School, and Vice Chair Ron Emerson, Professor of Pharmacology. This is the Senate Executive Committee. We meet weekly, so we have a lot of meetings. We also meet monthly with the Chancellor, the Provost, and the Vice Chancellor for Health Affairs. We also just had a half-day retreat with the Vice Chancellor for Health Affairs and with the Provost, and we had a very productive meeting to set the charges for the committees that actually conduct the work of the Senate. So on the next slide, I show the chairs of the standing committees, and again, I ask that you stand if you are here. I've gotten a few regrets of people who could not be here. First, Michael Stone, Professor of Chemistry, is Chair of Academic Policies and Services. Dave Piston, Professor of Molecular Physiology and Biophysics, Chair of Faculty Life. Dan Reshley, Professor of Special Education, is chairing Professional Ethics and Academic Freedom. John Braxton, Professor of Leadership, Policy, and Organizations, is chairing Student Life. And Jeanette Norton, who could not be here today, Professor of Cell and Developmental Biology, is chairing Senate Affairs. Now, if I can ask the Executive Committee, chairs of the committees, and all senators present today to stand up again. I'd like to see a few people standing, good. I would like all of you as faculty to take note of these senators. I urge you as faculty to contact these people with your suggestions and concerns, because this will be a major issue that I will hit on a little bit later, but we want your participation. So take note of who your colleague and senators are. Thank you very much. On the next slide, I've listed a major topic that each of these committees will deal with this year. We have 3 to 6 charges for each committee, but I've listed one to highlight what the committees will be doing. In the first APS, we'll be examining the new graduate education initiative that will hit this year, and we'll work with the Provost Task Force on this initiative. Next, Faculty Life will discuss technology transfer at Vanderbilt and its role here. Next, Senate Affairs will examine the role of the Senate in university governance and will specifically look at increased engagement of faculty with the Board of Trusts. PEEF, as it is affectionately known, next. As in years past, we'll deal with faculty grievances, and Student Life will be working with the Provost's office on the very important issue of transition of students from the Commons to the sophomore year and beyond. Now on the next slide, my last slide, I want to close with a few comments about how we can be effective in faculty governance and what role the Senate can play. I feel like, if you know this, I was Senate Chair 6 years ago, and I used this slide at that time. So we don't change very much. But I use this slide to really address the topic of shared governance. And these are important traits of a faculty senate that the National Network of Faculty Senates has stated make for an effective faculty voice. And this is critical to what we're going to be doing this year. The Senate is regarded by the campus as dealing with crucial issues. The Senate provides a forum for effective dialogue, and the Senate is seen as an agent of change. And that's my theme for this year, is change. This will indeed be a year for change on our campus, and we as faculty must be a voice at the table. We must be proactive not only in the Senate, but in the work of our standing committees, our task forces, search committees for new leaders, and our home departments. I urge you to get to know your senators and push them and yourselves to be engaged participants this year in the campus dialogue. Let me close by paraphrasing a statement that I made to the students the other night that was in a book by James Duderstadt called A University for the 21st Century. As members of the university community, we must seek to influence the nature of our changing world, and we need to be leaders in the journey of change.